Jimmy Corderas, Nug, what's going on? We're waiting on Anthony Corelli. He'll be joining us shortly. Welcome to Aftermath Digital TV. We've been calling it our live stream before the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. But Nug, I feel like you have to say it the proper way for the 2020 card.
Extreme.
Say it again?
Extreme. I think because the X is purple and it's darker than the fluorescent green they're using, and it looks like it says EW. You can see it on the screen. Extreme. It's the weirdest.
Oh.
Utream.
It kills me. Jimmy, Nug, how have you guys been doing?
Good. You know, the hanging out in Backyard Beach, you know, is actually kind of nice. And like I was complaining early in the year about the maintenance of the water and keeping it clean, but guess what? It's come in handy this year for sure.
And you and TV Mom have a nice tan.
She's beating me in the tan department, which is unusual. I mean, like, look, this is easy to tan. This part here, just take the hat off and go. It's easy, but yeah, she's tanning quite well. Yeah.
Oh, good. And Nug, what's up?
Not much. Had a birthday this week, so I celebrated by doing nothing because we're not allowed. No, I went to my mother-in-law's backyard and had an outdoor dinner with my wife, her mom, her sister, the nephew. Everybody came and we all stayed very distant from each other, which was great because I can't handle the nephew. But it was fun. It's weird, and I got a lot of. My family knows me very well, and I got a lot of wrestling garbage for my birthday, so it was great.
Oh,
Cool.
good.
That is cool. Yeah.
All right, guys, I mentioned that Anthony Corelli is going to join here shortly, but in the meantime, if you have any questions, and I'm talking to you fans, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, you want to say hello, please feel free to put it in the Facebook or the YouTube chat, and we're going to get going with Extreme Rules.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Is there a certain match you guys want to start out with?
Bring it. It doesn't matter.
Maybe I think some of us had similar opinions, but let's go with like a match that we're looking forward to the most.
Okay.
So Jimmy, you go.
No, for me, like I said, this is a pay-per-view, an opportunity for the women to shine and really break out. I'm really looking forward to the Sasha Banks and Asuka match, but I'm also equally looking forward to Nikki Cross and Bayley. Those matches matter. There's stories behind it. They kind of intertwine with each other, you know, with Bayley 2 belts and Sasha trying to be Sasha 2 belts. I love the story being told here, and these are women who can perform and really go in the ring. And again, as I said, this is their opportunity to overshadow and take over. We talked about women's revolution till we were blue in the face. Now's the time for them to step up, especially since Charlotte and Becky are out of the picture, who were a major focus. Now it's time for these ladies to show, hey, we're just as good as everybody else, if not
Now,
better.
I asked you guys this on our stream before that goes out probably, every Tuesday on Sportsnet YouTube. So anyone watching, if you guys want to watch more WWE content that goes out on Sportsnet, check out the segments that go out on Tuesdays. But in the women's matches, so Asuka versus Sasha and Nikki Cross versus Bayley, who has the most to lose and why?
Honestly, I think Sasha and Bayley still have the tag titles. So even if Bayley should lose her title, she could still claim that she's a champion.
Right.
Sasha, even if she doesn't beat Asuka, is still a champion. So I think the person with the most to lose is Asuka. Should Asuka lose that title, she has nothing. If Sasha becomes Sasha 2 Straps or whatever she calls herself, that's like 2 ladies with all the gold. Look at this guy. Look at this guy live.
Fashionably late. Way to. Hey,
AC in the house.
Doing the run-in.
What's happening here?
Hey, we're getting a tour of the room.
Anthony, what's up?
Hey, in the famous words of we're live, pal.
I had a delivery today at my gym. They're delivering a new track, and they took out all the turf. And I had to be there to let them in the building. And then I realized they were late, and which translated to me being late. Anyhow, hi.
It's okay. Pass the blame. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, it was all done.
Really quick, not to change this up, but Nug, I don't disagree with you, but I also think Bayley has a lot to lose if she loses the title here, because I think she's finally getting in that groove. Remember, we were talking about we weren't feeling it yet with Bayley being a villain. And now that she's gotten into that groove, I think that if she were to lose, the blue brand women's belt, I think that would be a step backwards for her. That yes, she will still be half of the women's tag champion, but at the same time, I think she might lose some of that momentum she gained and got people on board maybe a little bit.
True.
Anthony, just to catch you up, we were just discussing which match we're looking forward to the most on the card at Extreme Rules, and we started with Asuka versus Sasha, and obviously Nikki Cross versus Bayley, and which superstar would have the most to lose in each match and why. So I don't know if you have any tidbits to add, but we talked about it a little bit on Tuesday, but we could totally start the convo again.
Yeah, I think the person with the biggest mouth always has the most to lose. And right now, those two people are Sasha and Bayley. The way they brag, the way they carry on. Asuka, she's entertaining and she's loud, but she's not, look at me, I'm the greatest. And she's not,
Right.
doesn't put other people down. And of course, Nikki Cross doesn't do that. So, I mean, when it comes to Asuka, Asuka has a lot to lose, but in a different sense. She's not. The big mouths have the most to lose. Does that make sense? Did I say that right?
There's a nice comment from JP on YouTube, saying that he misses all of us and misses Aftermath Digital TV. So we miss you guys too. This is so much fun for us as well. And he could see Nikki Cross winning it and turning on Alexa after the match. What do you guys think about that?
Ooh.
Well, my wife's prediction was Nikki wins it, and then Alexa turns on Nikki. If you've noticed, Alexa has been losing a lot lately. She took the pin in a couple of matches leading into the pay-per-view. So if Nikki, who was her riding partner the whole way with their tag team run, if Nikki should win the title, Alexa has a real gripe. She has an opportunity to get that title back from Nikki, because who knows her better than Alexa?
I think that makes a little more sense than the other way around. That sounds
But
logical.
the other
If
way
you're
around
trying to
would be a
connect
big
dots.
swerve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but a big swerve for the sake of big swerve means, you know what I mean? It's doing it just for the sake of doing it. The way you laid it out, the Carissa did, your wife, I think that makes more sense.
But you
But
never
that's
know.
cool.
Nikki Cross might.
I wouldn't want them to turn on each other. I don't think.
No, I
Usually,
don't.
I'm all for that. And I'm
Alexa's a little bit better of a bad person than she is a good person.
But
I know,
imagine.
but I really like their chemistry. Like, I think that they really do well together. And I just want it for a little longer. If I could, be selfish, I would like it for a little longer. And then, but you know what? I wouldn't also mind if there was a build up to SummerSlam too, which is what JP also said in here.
Mm-hmm.
A title match at SummerSlam or Evolution. So that would also be really cool. I just like their chemistry and their friendship at the
Remember
moment.
when Justin Hawk Bradshaw became
Ah.
became JBL?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And we're like, why has he not been this guy his whole career? This guy is amazing. What if, just playing devil's advocate, Nikki Cross is the greatest heel of all time, and just we just don't know, right?
Oh, could you imagine?
I can imagine lots.
No, I actually would not mind that angle. That would be cool.
That
Or
makes
she
sense.
could suck as a heel because she's so nice. Who knows?
How long has your hamster been running on that wheel for that one, AC?
My hamster died years ago.
No, stop.
No, that's a very good point. And you know what? As someone who happened to witness and be there for JBL from day one up until the JBL with the horns on the limo stuff, seeing that transition from, like you said, Justin Hawk Bradshaw to there, it's amazing. That's a bigger transition than the Grim Reaper Undertaker to Biker Taker.
Yeah.
It was
goatee.
Yeah.
That JBL always reminded me of J.R. Ewing from Dallas. It always reminded me of JR, and I just thought how that whole series led up to who shot JR, and I'm like, someone's going to shoot JBL.
Well, that could have happened, but for other reasons we won't talk about that today.
Here's the cool comment from Jeff on YouTube. I see Bayley costing Sasha the match by accident and setting up a rivalry finally. But if both win, would love to see the champ versus champ at Evolution if it comes around. What do you guys think?
That's an interesting idea. I wouldn't, but if it were that Bayley and Sasha were both to become champions and then have a match together or whatever the case may be, that is a major pay-per-view. That is a SummerSlam. That is a Royal Rumble. That is
right.
Maybe even WrestleMania quality match. So I prefer the slow burn. This story
Yeah.
can take its time.
Yeah, and I don't want to see all the belts on the same two people. I like to see the gold spread around.
Can you imagine though if they both had two belts? I mean, they shared the tag team championships, and then they had one mega showdown for all the belts.
Wow.
That'd be
That just
iconic.
it'd be
Oh,
mega.
I see what you did there.
Iconic.
I see what you did there.
You guys know those are my favorite jokes that no one laughs at.
Uh,
Remember when we'd be in studio and I'd say a joke and it'd be crickets? The only one laughing would be the producer in my ear saying, "Why do you do that, Carol?"
Yeah, they weren't laughing at your joke. They were laughing at the fact that there was cricket.
Oh, I'm very aware. Nug, are there any comments or questions on the Facebook chat?
yeah, there's a few. Somebody's wondering why why AJ Styles isn't defending the Intercontinental title on the pay-per-view this weekend. He's defending it tonight against Matt Riddle on SmackDown, but he's not defending it at the event. I think there's a lot of matches already on the event, and with him defending the title tonight, he certainly doesn't need to defend it that close to a title defense tonight, Sunday. But he's been defending it a lot lately on SmackDown. Give him a day off.
And not only that, but it depending on what happens tonight on SmackDown, who says we don't get an Intercontinental title match of some sort on Sunday? It could be a last minute addition to the card. It happens.
And
Good for Matt Riddle to be in a match with AJ Styles too.
Right?
Mhm.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
And for any Aftermath TV fans who haven't seen it, there was I had the opportunity to recently interview AJ Styles, and he's awesome. He was so cool. He gave us some behind the scenes info on the Boneyard match that he had with Taker at WrestleMania 36. So he was just great. I feel like I say that after every single person I interview in WWE, but he was really awesome, very personable, gave some great insights. So check that out on Sportsnet YouTube as well.
It's funny, AJ Styles and I missed each other by, it feels like a week, or not long anyway. And finally, when I went back for something, I don't know what it was, and I met him, and he's like, "Hey, man, nice to meet you. I hear you're really fun on the European tours." I'm like, "That's my legacy, the European tour. I'll take it."
Hey,
That's
at
too
least it's a
funny.
legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nug, what match are you looking forward to the most?
I am looking forward to Nikki and Bailey. I'm really interested to see what the stipulation is for Drew and Ziggler. There's a
Right?
lot of rumbling online saying it might be a TLC match, but if I'm Ziggler, I don't reveal it until after our names are announced. I make it go as long as I can and go, oh, by the way, it's wham, and hit him with a chair and say, oh, it's a TLC match.
What's Dolph's game plan here? Because Drew is huge. We
Stick
saw
with
Drew.
moves.
I mean, Anthony's fail last week was that Drew just absolutely tossed Dolph. So what's Dolph's game plan to go against someone who's as massive as Drew McIntyre and obviously on a really good run right now?
I think weapons would help.
Mhm.
He
Definitely.
needs weapons. I hope the stipulation is something. It's hard to be super creative because everything's been done, but to come up with something, like more than a kendo stick, more than a sledgehammer,
Mhm.
maybe a flamethrower or something like that. Person gets to use it, but I really hope the stipulation is something creative and never been done before, if possible.
No, it is possible. It has been done throughout the years. We mentioned JBL earlier, and I remember refereeing matches with him and Rey Mysterio. And when you look at it from a purely size up standpoint, and JBL towered over Rey Mysterio, as pretty much everybody did. But, but again, there was that element of there were times during the match where you believe that Rey Mysterio can beat JBL. And I think they can do this here. And this being an Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and like you said, with the ability to use weapons or whatever the case may be, we don't know the stipulation yet, that belief that Dolph can beat Drew increases a little bit, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Who has the most to lose? Obviously Drew. Here, right?
Yeah, Drew. 100%. I mean, Dolph could be the champion. He's been champ before, but not for a long time. He's had multiple Intercontinental runs, the U.S. title run, tag title runs with Drew, but he hasn't been the big dog for a long time. It'd be great to see him on top again, but Drew definitely has the most to lose.
Agreed.
All right, guys. How about Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt?
Ooh.
I'm on the fence with this because it appears to be a swamp match, which signifies possibly a cinematic type of match is what we've been getting a lot of lately. I'm just, for me, I just think that approach is being, I get it. Without an audience, a real audience present, it's more difficult to present the same type of matches over and over again. But you're also running the risk of overusing this tool. I think we've got some really good ones, but you may get some people who are just saying, okay, enough of the cinematic style matches. Let's just get back to more in-ring stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind seeing a hybrid of the two, where they use some special effects and some cinema stuff, but at the performance center, and when it kind of ends up in the ring, or it's some backstage stuff, or just a combination would be nice. Because I mean, I realize that once things go back to normal, if they ever go back to normal, maybe we don't get these anymore. So appreciate them now while we have a chance, or they'll be used much more sparingly in the future. But I think let's see a hybrid.
I think about David Letterman doing a sketch where he's live in studio and then he walks to the stage door and opening it up, and then they go to a taped bit with him out in the alley.
Yeah.
He taped earlier in the day, and then it cuts back to the studio and he shuts the door like he just came back in. I wouldn't mind to see a match start in the ring, spill out there, go outside, do some stuff, and then come back in and have the finish in the ring.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Aftermath TV fans who are online, please keep asking your questions, keep sending them in. Any kind of comments, that generates conversation at the same time for us, and we love to hear what you guys think too.
Absolutely.
So please keep them coming, and I promise we'll get to all of your questions and comments. In the meantime, this is a match that I feel like everyone has something to say about. An eye for an eye. And you've been itching to talk about this one since before we even started the stream. So I'm going to let you take the floor.
The eyeball match, where the rules are eyeball. I don't know if there will be tools involved to remove the eyeball. I don't know if the eyeball will be put on a pole and the first one to get it will win. I don't know what the rules are for an eye match, but the whole point is that somebody is supposed to remove the other person's eye. And this is upsetting. Nobody knows if this is going to happen or not, but I got a hamster on the wheel about this one.
Oh, I'll let you go first.
I think Jimmy will like it. I don't like it, but my hamster keeps bugging me to mention this. So nobody wants to see Ray lose an eye, especially, and I'm going to use his full name, especially Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio will stop Seth Rollins from taking out his dad's eye, even if it means joining Seth.
Ooh, somebody's hamster should get
on the wheel.
On the wheel, but I have a little problem here. Man.
Oh my God, are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Could you imagine? Ooh. Sorry, like I said on Tuesday, nothing freaks me out more than an eyeball. And
it's just going to be handkerchiefs.
Unless Uma Thurman shows up at this pay-per-view and gouges someone's eye out, I don't want to see it. Personally.
How about if Rey Mysterio loses his other eye and then becomes like Daredevil?
Oh, cool.
Right?
That's interesting. But, I almost rather prefer that they maybe not quite in the same vein as Jake the Snake Roberts versus Rick Martel in their old blindfold match, which we all remember was a classic. But maybe something in that vein, because I get it. It's Extreme Rules horror show. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean this is probably the first time I've ever heard of a match where the stipulation is somebody has to lose an appendage or a limb or a body part to lose the match.
I did remember that Vincent Van Gogh match where somebody had to lose an ear.
Oh, yes.
Guys, here's a good question. Is anyone thinking that there are way too many cinematic matches on pay-per-views now?
Yeah, I think one every other one is too much. So the fact that we're getting one or two per every show now is it's too much.
It's interesting because when we watched WrestleMania 36, it was kind of like we were blown away by them. But I wonder now if it's the same thing that we always talk. Like, I feel like the theme of Aftermath is less is more. So I wonder if it goes, I feel like we can say that. I wonder now if it goes, cinematic matches go, into that.
Well, we think less is more, but some people in charge of stuff think more is more.
And this isn't a knock on anybody in particular being in these cinematic matches, but look back at the good one. Undertaker and AJ Styles. Look who was in the match. You know what? The ones that we've enjoyed, look who the participants are in the match. Not everybody can do this style of match. I mean, who is the agents going to be for this match? I mean, what's damn, I can't think of the guy's name now. The swamp guy. What's his name?
Oh, Bray?
No. The guy that had his own show that used to go through the swamps and stuff.
Oh,
my goodness.
Oh, the Gator guy?
Yes, the Gator guy. What the
Maybe
heck?
Swamp People?
I don't know. Anyways, it's kind of like the eyeball match. Who's agenting that match? Is it Stephen King or Wes Craven? I don't know.
Hakeem
Yeah,
Optical.
the hard part is if you're going to keep doing it, it has to be better and better and better each time.
That's a
And
challenge.
it's hard to get better than the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, this is kind of a sidebar, but we'll return to Extreme Rules in a second. I just really love this question and comment. It's for Anthony specifically that we all love Bianca. How is your Bianca doing and how is she training?
Good. You know, she really, during this Corona gimmick, got into fitness and she's in the best shape of her life. And next time she gets in front of the eyes of the coaches down at NXT, she's going to blow them away. She's very, very good on the mic. She's always been since she was a child. And, you know, when she had her first tryout, she just came off an injury and she wasn't the most crisp and the best shape, but she's worked on all that stuff and she's doing reps and she's taking it so serious. I always think of Cody Rhodes or any second generation or third generation. The biggest nightmare for them is for someone to say you're only here because of your parents.
Mm-hmm.
And it just diminishes and takes away all their hard work. So they have to work twice as hard.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, they're going to get opportunities, but in order to feel like to themselves that they deserve it, they have to work twice as hard as anybody else to take away any shadow of a doubt that they made it on their own merits. So she's been working really, really hard and she's a future superstar, so you'll see her soon.
AC, what's your biggest piece of advice to Bianca and maybe anyone else who's in her position that wants to make it on the grandest stage of them all?
Oh man, I mean, there's so much advice, but it's a lifestyle. You know, if you want to maintain that physique and you want to, you can't be out partying and you have to train every day and sometimes twice a day, and you have to reduce your social life when you go out. You can't have the croutons and the cheese on your salad, and you gotta, no beer and that kind of stuff. If you want to have a super physique, it takes super effort. So, just that constant self-discipline.
That's why I'll never make it in WWE because I put all the cheese and all the croutons on my salad.
May I?
That's why I won't either.
I'm asking.
That's 100%.
I'm asking permission. May I throw something out there as well?
Absolutely, Jimmy.
Unfortunately, here we go. This is going to sound like a rant. One of the things that I'm hearing a lot these days, and I'm not saying about Bianca or anybody in particular, but that the younger generation is not picking the minds of the veterans that are there, not asking questions, not going in and asking, hey, did you see my match? What did you think? Give me a little feedback. What could I have done better? What can I improve on? What do you think of this and that? They're kind of, there's this mentality with some, I'm not saying all, but there's this mentality with some where, look, I'm here, I'm on TV, I know what I'm doing. So you know what? You don't get it until very later on in your career. You're always feeling something out and you never stop learning. Yes, I get people want to evolve this business and take it to the next level. But at the end of the day, you still have to have those fundamentals in place. And you know what? You may think that the old guy's screaming at a cloud, but he is telling you something that can be useful.
Right. Jimmy, with your experience and, everyone that you've worked with in the company, in the industry, who's someone who's still wrestling or maybe around the scene who would be such a good mentor and who would love to mentor these up and coming superstars and like a wealth of knowledge almost?
Oh, take your pick. You look at the Performance Center right now, and you see a bunch of names down there. Like look at Matt Bloom. Everybody looks at Matt Bloom and they think of oh, look at Baldo over there, but they don't realize that He's got a great head for the business. He understands it. You got
It's
Shawn
a huge
Michaels down.
head.
Yeah,
Gigantic head.
exactly. Shawn Michaels is down there. You got Adam Pearce. You've got Road Dogg, who is a wealth of knowledge coming from a great family, the Armstrong
Yeah.
family. There are just so many people down there that you can just pick their brains. I just wish.
Did you see that a lot back in the day in AC? I'm sure, and Nug, you guys can answer this too. Was there, a pair that stands out in your mind of someone who really mentored another superstar and helped them in their journey?
Well, so the kids that are at NXT, they appreciate the value. I think Jimmy's, well, I don't know if you're referring to a lot of the indie guys that are stuck in the indies for 10, 15 years. They often have a little chip on their shoulder and don't ask for that advice. But guys in NXT, they got to know that they're in the Harvard of wrestling, and they ask, I see them asking questions, and they're sitting down and they have something called skull sessions where they sit down in a boardroom and they watch their matches back with, like, Shawn Michaels is your professor and you're in a classroom with him and he's breaking down tape, and they really get a lot of input. When I was there, it's just everybody. For me, it was guys like Pat Patterson would give you a gem. Fit Finley would give you a gem. Mike Rotundo would give you a gem. Arn Anderson on a daily basis was giving me gems. Rock and Roll Express, especially Hoot, Robert Gibson, gems. I mean, gold. And this is how you accumulate the knowledge. And it's the same way they did. They got, because before, back in the day, it was often paired up older guy, younger guy,
Right.
experienced guy, inexperienced guy. And now often it was a lot of young guys wrestling young guys, and the blind leading the blind. Nobody here has any experience. And if they did, it was just WWE, and a lot of guys didn't go to Mexico, Japan, Puerto Rico, and Europe, and all that stuff. Like Fit Finley, for example, he sent his son to Japan. Just going somewhere else and getting a whole bunch of experience. But there's so much knowledge floating around, and if you're serious about the business, and the veterans notice, the veterans notice that this guy hasn't asked me for one damn thing, or this guy won't leave me alone. He's asking me for questions every day. I like him, The producers notice who is a real student of the game, and some guys they don't even watch tape. Some guys are addicted. They watch tape all day. They want to learn, and they're just addicted to learning and becoming the best they can be. And those are the guys that make it, in the end.
Yeah, and I remember I can't tell you how many times you especially at TV, when you come back from the ring from Gorilla, and everybody's there, the agent for the match, Vince is there, and you walk in and you hear that, come over here, and it's not like someone chewing you out, it's someone giving you, hey, why did you do this? Yeah, or something like that. I've gotten it myself. I've gotten where I got back, and they would say, like, why did you react like this, or why did you do this in the match, and stuff like that. And if I didn't have a good enough reason as to why I did it, I'd say I'd get educated as to why I shouldn't have done what I did. It's simple, but
when I think about all those names down in NXT that are there, the ones you mentioned, and there's two that stand out to me that haven't been mentioned yet that are at NXT. One of them is William Regal. If you can get some advice from William Regal, 100% get it. But also Norman Smiley's down there. Norman Smiley's wrestled all over the world with everybody. He would give you some of the best advice. And I know he teaches one of those classes. I would talk to Norman Smiley every day.
He trained with Carl Gotch.
Yes.
My goodness.
Nug, I feel like you love William Regal. Why is that? Tell me what makes him next level for you.
What makes William Regal next level for me is that he knows what he's doing in the ring. First of all, he gets the fundamentals, but then on top of that, he's got this sense of humor that hits me in the right spot. that it's Canadians understand British sense of humor because we're British. We're a part of the Commonwealth, so we understand it. This dry, straight-faced, anytime William Regal gets tea dumped in his shoe and he looks like he's sucking a lemon because of his facial expressions, that's comedy. He gets it. He's the straight man, and your straight man has to be thinks he's above everybody, that when he does get taken down, he's like, oh, it's perfect. And it does wonders for your character. And I love that he can be goofy and then also tear your arm out of its socket.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the best part about William Regal.
He really helped me a lot.
Yeah. So,
Really, AC?
yeah. Go, AC. Tell us.
Yeah, when I was there, I was paired up with him for a year, and he really helped me change gears and really get that vicious side out of me. And oh gosh, and every time I see him, every day he has a joke for me, and they're just it's his delivery. He's so funny. So he grabbed me in a headlock, and he'd go, "Ooh, I've got him now." I've got him now, and he's so funny. And you know what he's really good at is knowing what not to do. So, for example, I offered in a match one time to give him a hip toss. And he's like, "Ooh, how about we do this? Because I don't take them well." And there are things that he can't do athletically, but you'll never know because he never attempted them. He knows exactly what to do. And what's really important is to know what not to do. And yeah, he's incredible. He's legendary.
There's a question from Facebook, and I assume it's for me because it says at Nudge. Do we think Adam Cole will make an appearance this weekend? Now, Keith Lee has become the double champion. He's a North American and NXT champion, and Adam Cole, no titles. People want to know if we think Adam Cole is going to make an appearance at the Extreme Rules Horror Show. Jimmy, I'm gathering you don't think so.
Jimmy's about to get whiplash.
I'm not saying he won't, but I hope not, because I want there to be a big deal about Adam Cole, because I see a lot of potential in Adam Cole to be. I'm not saying he's going to be the next HBK, but that potential is there in him, depending on if he can bring it out. Do you know what I'm saying? So
maybe there's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, so I don't want him rushed out into an Extreme Rules pay-per-view. I'd rather it be a big deal on Raw, on SmackDown, or even at SummerSlam. Whatever the case may be, it should be a big deal.
Oh my God, it's Adam Cole.
Baby.
I think there's a big babyface run in him in NXT. He's everybody's favorite. They love chanting along with him. They love saying "baby." They love everything about that gang of guys, the Undisputed Era. So why not keep them together, or why not split them off of Cole and have them turn on Cole? Like, there's a lot of opportunities to do stuff in NXT, and I think he's perfect for NXT. I don't want to see him going anywhere else.
Agreed.
Okay, so there's lots going on in the YouTube chat. Sportsnet asked our Aftermath TV fans which match is everyone most excited for and why. A lot of the answers have to do with the women that are going to be competing in this next pay-per-view, which is what we talked about, obviously, at the beginning of this chat. An interesting question. In the Asuka and Sasha Banks match, does anyone see Io Shirai showing up during that match? Is anyone's hamster on the wheel for that?
Only if Bailey makes an appearance, I could see that happening. Otherwise, I don't see Io showing up.
I think we have more of a chance of Kairi Sane showing up than Io Shirai.
There you go.
But you never know.
You never know.
You never can tell.
Okay, I feel like the last match on the card that we have yet to talk about is Apollo Snooze, which is no longer.
No.
His name is back. It's Apollo Cruz versus MVP.
A battle of the two United States champions.
Which
old
I kind of like.
New school.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. And everybody talks about old school versus new school, which is better. Here is where you're going to see old school versus new school, where they will both mesh together well, because I believe MVP is still one of the better in-ring performers out there. Apollo Cruz can do some amazing things as well, and it's all about the gelling factor. And I think those two will gel very well. The only advantage I think MVP has is I think his title belt looks better than Apollo's.
I don't know.
From an aesthetic standpoint.
There was a spinning U.S. title that I remember that I think.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, MVP's a lot bigger too, and he has that jiu-jitsu base. So it's going to be, Apollo Cruz is a really interesting combination. He's very powerful.
Yeah,
he's super strong. I hear some of the numbers he lifts in the gym is crazy, and he's very acrobatic. But I mean, he's very strong for a smaller guy. I mean, he's so muscular. He doesn't come across as smaller, but he is a little bit smaller. But MVP is big and he is strong. So if he can ground him, high flyer versus grappler, right? It's a classic story.
Totally agree.
I'm really looking forward to it. We haven't seen Apollo for a few weeks, so I'm excited to see him back, and I'm excited to see him compete with MVP. And as much as I do like MVP, I'm looking to see Apollo solidify his championship and remain champion. And you know what? I hope he keeps the old belt too. Forget it.
What match
Yeah,
do you
it'd be
guys
good.
think? What match do you guys think? And I'm going to ask you Aftermath TV fans too. So let us know in the comments. But what match do you guys think will steal the show?
Ooh.
Maybe the dark horse too.
If
these.
it happens tonight, which I suspect it will, there should be a tag team match, possibly a tables match between the New Day and Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, and I think that could be the match that steals the show.
Ooh.
Wow.
There you go. That's definitely. But I think again, I'm really looking forward to Sasha Banks and Asuka, and I think that's the one from an in-ring standpoint, without any gimmicks, as we say, could steal the show from an in-ring perspective.
Well, it's interesting because Sasha and Asuka are both known to be a little stiff. You know, Sasha kicks some people in the face, and Asuka will
right
back
in
fist
there.
you to the nose. So I imagine there's going to be some stiff shots, maybe a little blood, a little busted open eyebrows.
You never know. That's
I'm
okay.
I'm looking forward to all the women.
I love it.
Pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone who's competing in this pay-per-view, deserves to have a match that they're in and have been doing really, really well. And I think it's going to be very entertaining. And we've talked. I can't count the amount of times I've said this about Asuka, but she's just been like the standout superstar for me during all of this. So I'm really excited to see what she brings to Extreme.
She's a rarity too, because we talk about being a complete superstar. If I could I hope I don't make this a lengthy analogy. If I could make an analogy here, because Caroline brought up karaoke earlier this week. It's like when you go to karaoke and you are given a song to sing, and it's Africa by Toto. You know what I'm saying? And then the beginning of the song is very low and low key, and everybody's in that voice range. I hear the drums echoing tonight. You know what I mean? And then in the middle of the song, you have to hit that high part. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Takes a lot to drag me away.
That's good, Jimmy.
You know what I mean?
Don't make Anthony get out his recorder.
Oh no.
It's here somewhere.
I found mine. I did find mine.
Okay, brother. But you know what I'm saying? You have to have that complete voice range, and a wrestling match is the same way. You have to have all the tools involved, and I think the ladies have all the tools. And
my gosh, Anthony's going to get his recorder. I'm going to die laughing.
Oh no, I should go get mine. We could duet.
He doesn't have it. Anthony, next live stream, you have to make sure
it's here somewhere.
Oh, that's too good. Actually, you know what, Aftermath TV fans, let us know in the comments what you thought about the karaoke showdown, because we talked about that in our last segment. I'm interested to see what you guys think. Well, Jimmy serenades us with his flute.
This is actually from Greece. This is a little flute from Greece. It was a souvenir from the island of Lesbos. Yes.
Amazing. Here's a good question in the YouTube chat. Once I can find it again. There's a lot of good things coming through. I believe it was... would it be good for Dolph to win the title?
Oh, is it ever bad for anyone? Is there ever anything bad to happen to anybody who gets the title? It's all good, except you got to carry that big thing to the airport. It'd be great. But Drew's been doing a great job lately. I wish Drew was more killer Drew that we saw going into WrestleMania than hilarious one-liner to the camera Drew. But if it looks like the Scottish psychopath got woken up by Ziggler this past week, then hopefully he's there and he can retain his title. I mean, I'd love to see Ziggler with the title, but
me too, actually.
You know, it all depends on how it goes down.
True.
You know, it could happen and everybody go, "Oh wow, that was amazing! I didn't see that coming. That was so incredible." Or it could happen and everybody goes in church. You know what I mean? Anyway.
So we have some comments saying Jeff thinks that karaoke was absolutely brutal. So it looks like we weren't the only ones, who felt that way. And also, next trivia, who's hosting? Is it Jimmy? Jimmy, did you win last week?
I think he did.
I've already got it all set up. Oh boy.
Okay, so Jeff says next trivia, whoever's in last place should have to sing a full karaoke.
Oh, I'm going to lose on purpose.
Imagine that stipulation.
But Doug has an advantage. That's in his wheelhouse.
I have 5 different back pocket karaoke songs that I'm real good doing, and I don't sing those. I pick other stuff. So I've got a bunch. I've changed my main song over the years, and I've just got a few in the back pocket just in case. There's a really interesting comment on Facebook where Tim Dean says Dolph is going to win on Sunday night, and then Otis will cash in.
Oh, it's so weird because the same thing's happening in the YouTube chat. So we should talk about this, and I guess it's something that we should talk about and bring up.
I'm going to check with my my Oracle and find out if that is true.
The fact that everybody's still got Otis being Mr. Money in the Bank.
I forgot about that.
He hasn't been around the last couple weeks, but here's Otis with this Money in the Bank cash in just floating around. And Dolph's the guy who he's not a big fan of. It'd be a huge comeuppance for Dolph to get that title back, and then Otis just cash in immediately.
True. You know what? I totally forgot about that.
Exactly.
There's so much going on that kind of, which is to me almost makes it better if that were to happen at it. You guys have to say Extreme Rules because I can't say it the way that you say it. Extreme Rules. That would actually be
says it.
Just say horror show.
The horror show.
I want Drew to be the champion that's going to bridge us to the gap until we get a live audience again. He has to be, recognized in person. That would be horrible if he lost it before that happened.
And we love Otis. I love Otis. I don't know anybody who doesn't love Otis, but I don't think he's champion. I don't think he's a champion.
No.
He could have a feel-good moment, but I don't see him, sustaining that.
No.
I think the feel-good moment is going to come from Nikki Cross this pay-per-view if it happens,
I hope so. I'm just going to put it out there. If that happens, that's my win.
There needs to be one feel-good moment in the middle of a horror show. Like there's always, in a horror movie, there's always one good laugh or one person who gets away or somebody who doesn't trip into a trap of some variety.
But there's always somebody who
doesn't come back, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this being called the horror show because I love scary movies and I'm very excited to see the theme and how this entire pay-per-view is produced.
Like
that in itself might be a big win for me. Really.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah. Like we said, with the cinematic thing that looks like we're going to get a nice mix of different scenarios. It could be, I'm hoping it surprises me and ends up exceeding my expectations. That's all.
Me too.
Me too. I'm not going in thinking this is going to be the greatest thing of all time, and that's usually when I'm pleasantly surprised. Right. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Right.
Okay, Aftermath TV fans, send in your questions, any comments. We'll be wrapping up here shortly, so let us know what you think. But there was a fun question here in the YouTube chat a little bit ago, and it was, what is your favorite WWE entrance and why?
Entrance?
Oh, that's easy. Gilbert.
Oh my goodness, with the sparklers?
Goldberg used to come out with the sparks and the fog, and Gilbert came out with guys holding sparklers, and then the smoke would go off and he'd get scared. Gilbert was Dwayne Gill. Dwayne Gilbert, for sure, one of my favorite entrances.
For me, the late great Eddie Guerrero when he had the lowriders that used to hop, and the one time he came out with Vince in the passenger seat and he was hopping the car, and you could see Vince doing this. What are you doing? What do you that was amazing. That was cool.
For me, it's always that first note of the music that gets you, and there's nothing like the glass breaking. That.
Oh yeah.
And when he was at his peak, 20,000 people immediately jump to their feet, and when you see collectively an audience just go up, it's amazing.
Caroline, what's your favorite?
I have two. I think Finn Balor has one of the most.
Oh yeah.
When you're in the crowd, when Finn comes out, everyone is doing his entrance with him. And I think it's really, really cool to be a part of that and to witness that. But for me, The Undertaker has the most iconic. And to the point where like now when I go to the grocery store, I think of you guys every time we said, could you imagine if we're like in Longos or Fortino's or wherever anyone grocery shops and like the lights go off and you just hear Taker's bell, you'd be like, oh, he's here.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen.
Shut up. Where?
That would never happen. No frills because that'd be a frill.
That would be a super frill.
Bray Wyatt had a really good entrance with all the the camera lights and everyone gets involved.
The crowd when that started when he came up, Bray Wyatt with the lamp.
Bray Wyatt.
And
DX when they had the glow sticks.
If he does that Sunday, I'm in heaven.
And more recently, I kind of liked Aleister Black's entrance, but until it kind of went away, sort of. But
Aleister Black's entrance scares me in a good way. You know, like those are the ones that I pay attention to because I'm just creeped out, and I think it goes perfectly with who Aleister Black is as well.
And I also like entrances where guys sing their own. Aren't going. Since we're talking karaoke here, what the heck? When Road Dogg used to, or Jeff Jarrett. You remember we had the
Honky Tonk Man.
Honky Tonk Man. But
I just started
my
thinking
baby
about,
tonight.
I started thinking about when Rey Mysterio used to pop out of the stage.
Yes.
And then also when the Brood used to rise up out of the stage.
Oh, the Ring of Fire.
And then Gangrel would spit the blood into the air. Caroline, Google the Brood. You'll go nuts.
You know who I also enjoy? Naomi.
Yeah.
I think Naomi has a very fun entrance.
Yeah. When the lights go down and the fluorescent kicks in, awesome. And the music choice is really good.
And then there's always some part of her outfit that's fluorescent that you had no idea. Like most of it, you're like the green or the blue or whatever. And then the lights go off and it's like, there's orange in there? Like it always lights up really cool.
I'm glad you said that because I love Naomi's entrance.
Yeah. I love Naomi's and she's a great dancer. You know what? It also fits her personality very well. I like the ones that make sense, you know, like Aleister Black, Naomi, Taker. I don't know. Those ones always get me. But Naomi's is fun. I always said when I watch, I would hate to come out after Naomi because hers is always like top of the list. And it's hard to compete with her in terms of entrances.
Yeah.
Really quick, because you brought up the Brood there and that circle of fire that they used to rise up through. They learned really quickly to be careful with the frilly shirts coming up through the fire because there may have been a time or two, a little peek behind the curtain where the frilly shirt may have caught fire. But anyway.
That's hard to wrestle in a burning shirt.
Yeah.
Aftermath TV fans, obviously we're going to be all watching Extreme Rules this weekend. Tweet us, letting us know what you think using the hashtag AskAftermath. I'm excited. I know that the guys are too. I'm not going to speak for everyone, but thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone has a good weekend. Stay healthy, stay safe, and please keep us posted because we love these chats. We love doing the segments that go out on Sportsnet YouTube, and we'd love to bring in what you guys think into our shows as well. So keep us posted and enjoy the pay-per-view.
Enjoy our trivia this week that's coming up too because it's going to be fun. I can't lose another trivia ever again because I'm not doing Backstreet Boys on here. So
hey, this morning I went to the Toronto Metro Zoo.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was Marco's first trip to the zoo. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
How was it?
It was good. He saw tigers and polar bears and giraffes and all that kind of stuff.
I thought you were going to do lions and tigers and bears.
Oh my.
I didn't see any lions.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, guys, keep us posted. Everyone have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Enjoy the